So there seems to be a general state of unease in our country. People know that things aren't the way they're supposed to be, but we don't quite know how to explain it. Well, I'm here to tell you what's causing this malaise. No new late-night TV. So back in April, the Writers Guild of America went on strike for higher wages and regulation of AI, among other things. This hit late night first because they write, tape, and release on the same day. That means hundreds of show staff, tech guys, producers, bookers, have been out of work for the past 4 months. To remedy this situation, 5 late night hosts have teamed up with Spotify for a new podcast.
One more time, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
I'm Stephen Colbert.
I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I thought when you said Jimmy, you meant me, Jimmy, but you meant Jim.
Didn't we all miss them so much? Reminds me of my least favorite Mitch Albom novel. The podcast is a limited series, the main topic of which is the writer's strike. To be fair, they understand the issues on America's mind at least as well as these guys. Proceeds from the podcast will go to staffers on each of their shows, the proceeds mainly coming from sponsorships by Ryan Reynolds' phone carrier Mint Mobile and his liquor company Diageo. Which is great, because the only way you can bear to listen to this podcast is if you're on your phone the whole time and also drinking. Early in the first episode, Seth Meyers said of their staffs,
we have researchers, producers, writers, all these people. I think you're really going to feel their absence while you listen to the 5 of us talk without their help.
And boy, was he right. Topics of the podcast included how hard the strike has been on them.
I think the problem is the strike is making things so tense. I am looking for things or people to take out.
And how many celebrities they know.
I hung out with Duran Duran.
Ben Affleck and the despicable Matt Damon contacted me.
I was at a hotel and I saw Bruce Willis there.
I did one scene with Charlie Sheen in Spin City.
And I have a Jennifer Garner story.
Somehow the name dropping is more obnoxious when it's coming through that Zoom sound quality. People are comparing this to the times the hosts filmed from home during COVID, but at least then they had writers and a production staff, even though it may not have looked like it.
Hi! Welcome to my bathroom.
And in case you thought the promo video was going to get the Jimmy joke out of their systems,
Jimmy and I went fishing together this summer, which if you think it's confusing to talk to 2 Jimmys in a podcast, imagine talking to 2 Jimmys in a boat.
I've heard funnier fishing stories from Robert Shaw.
Oh, then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red.
So how's the show performing? Well, because it's on Spotify, only they can see the number of listeners. But here on the outside, it don't look good. All these hosts together have over 90 million followers on Twitter, but the show just hit 8,000. The show account tweeted a clip from the episode, and it got less than 200 likes on the first day. Meanwhile, the thoroughly canceled Sam Hyde's quote tweet of it got over 4,500 likes. Spotify has also inked a deal with Trevor Noah, former host of The Daily Show, for a weekly current events and interview podcast set to debut later this year. If only we had a Sam Hyde reaction for that news.
You okay? I'm so happy for you that you're there.
So while these guys are doing their lame podcast, what's going on over at their former networks? Well, they're showing reruns. Last night, CBS played a Colbert episode from January of 2022. CBS is also still playing reruns of James Corden's show, which they canceled in April. Which, as bad as that podcast is, at least the other hosts aren't using their time off to bang the kid from One Direction. Before you get mad, that's not the worst picture I could have shown. And since the reruns started, the networks are getting mixed results. Kimmel got some of his best ratings of the year on reruns, while Colbert's ratings are half of what they were. And Seth Meyers' reruns are getting beaten by James Corden reruns. Somehow there's still a national appetite for this stuff.
Shout out to our favorite MD, Anthony Fauci.
But the strike isn't the only thing that's happening to these shows. Fewer than half of the people who watch TV are watching network and cable. And last year, late night revenue was half of what it was in 2016. Which is sad. I like the format of late night. There was a time when I would watch Letterman and Conan every day. I still watch old Craig Ferguson episodes on YouTube. But as everyone knows, the genre has been taken over by political operatives pushing the current thing. And it's not impossible to take a TV audience and turn them into an online audience. Look at Tucker. Look at Conan. The transfer can happen if people care. And I guess that's their biggest problem. No one cares about them. Not a small problem. Right now, a lot of things are dying, and the Strike Force 5 podcast isn't going to stop it. America is in a bad way, but if you think your life is hard and it couldn't get any worse,
imagine talking to 2 Jimmys in a boat.